Jobber in the house. Jobber, how you doing?
Hello. I'm good.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm good, man. Welcome back.
I Thank you. I have a question.
Sure.
What argument against Islam do you have that if I answer it, you'll accept Islam?
Yeah, man, that's a good question. So here's the number one thing. Okay. Are you familiar with chapter 61, verse 6?
Of course.
All right. So in chapter 61, 6, it talks about how Jesus came confirming the Torah, came to the Jews with good glad tidings, right?
Yeah.
And he says that Jesus said that a messenger named Ahmed will come after me, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you can show me where Jesus mentioned Ahmed to come after him, I will accept Muhammad as a prophet today. Today. You hear me?
Okay. Okay.
All right.
So there's many ways you can address this. Here's
Okay.
how I address it. Here's how I'd address this.
All right.
What Jesus originally said, we don't have it. We don't have the
Mm.
original gospel of what Jesus said. So he did actually say this in the past, but we don't have exactly what he has exactly said right now.
So then I guess I can't convert. See, what you told me is basically is you can't verify this for me. So too bad, right?
No, again. Allah is quoting his exact words,
Hmm.
but what we have now is not what Jesus said. The gospel what we have today is not what Jesus said.
So then there's no way to prove that Jesus actually said this then, huh? I just got to believe
And
what the Quran said blindly?
now we have a way to prove the Quran true.
Okay, how?
Okay, there's two challenges that Quran makes that to
Hmm.
falsify it.
Okay.
Okay, the first challenge is make a chapter like it. Just one chapter of the Quran, make a
Hmm.
chapter like it.
Okay.
And the second challenge, find one contradiction in the Quran. One.
Mm, I
So
get it.
if you can answer any of these two challenges, I will leave Islam right now.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay. You positive?
100%.
Okay. All right, Jabir. Am I saying your name right, by the way? Is it
Yeah,
Jabir?
yeah, yeah. You're
Yeah.
saying it right. You're saying it right.
All right.
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, cool. All right. Let's see. I think I'm going to do the first challenge first. Bring
Make a
something like,
chapter like it. Yeah.
yeah. Now, there's a Quran verse. Now, it mentions this challenge multiple times. So there's one that says, bring a chapter like it, like what you're saying. There's
Hmm.
another one that says, bring 10 chapters like it. And then there's another verse that says, bring something like it. So anything like
Now. Yeah. So in
it.
the Quran, it
Hmm.
says, let me get the verse just a minute. Um, Chapter 17, verse 88. It says, if the humans and the jinn they were all together to try to make a Quran like it, they will not be able to make it. Even if all the humans on earth and the jinn were together to just make the entire Quran, they won't be able to do it.
Mm.
Yes.
Okay. So if men and jinn should combine together to bring the like of this Quran, to bring something like this Quran, then they won't be able to do it.
Yes.
So if somebody could bring something like the Quran, then therefore the Quran is false and you'll leave Islam.
I'm listening. Yeah. Continue.
What if I told you that this was done before?
Evidence.
All right. You know who Umar is, right? Umar bin Khattab?
Oh, I know what you're gonna bring. The
Um,
Quran verse. I know this argument before. The Quran verse agrees with what Umar said. I've heard this one before.
Okay. So Umar says that my Lord agreed with me in three things. Let me get the hadith up for us so we can all look at it and make sure let's bring up the Sunnah. Sahih Bukhari 402. And then let's go ahead and do this here. All right. Let me scroll down to it and get it up for us really quick. 402. All right, there it is. 402. All right. Okay. Share it on the screen for us. All right, you can see it?
Yep. Go
All
ahead
right.
and read.
Narrated Umar. My Lord agreed with me in three things. One, I said, O Allah's messenger, I wish we took the station of Abraham as our praying place. So came the divine inspiration, and take you, the station of Abraham, as a place of prayer. Right? And it
Yeah,
says, so that's chapter 2, verse 125.
yeah. I know that verse. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see it again. And as regards the verse of veiling, of the veiling of the women, I said, O Allah's messenger, I wish you ordered your wives to cover themselves from the men because good and bad ones talk to them. So the verse of the veiling of the women was revealed. That's 2. Number 3. Once the wives of the prophet made a united front against the prophet, and I said to them, it may be if he divorced you that his Lord will give you him instead of you wives better than you. So this verse, the same as I had said, was revealed. That's chapter 66, verse 5.
That verse was abrogated, by the way.
All right, no worries.
By
So,
chapter. Yeah.
no
I
worries.
can say where it's abrogated.
So there are 3 verses in the Quran, or 3 things that that Umar said that was so good and so similar to the Quran that they even became verses of the Quran.
It doesn't mean that Umar put them in the Quran. It doesn't
I'm
mean
not
that.
saying that. I'm
Okay.
just saying that he was able to come up with 3 things that were similar to the Quran, that they were verses of the Quran. And Umar was able to bring something like it. So the challenge is met.
Again, just because Umar, for example, I can give you another example.
Okay.
I can give you even another example.
All right.
Just a minute. Let me find the verse. Oh, here we go. Chapter 8, verse 66. Allah agrees with Umar here.
Oh, so there's another time
Yeah,
that
there's other verses too. I can quote you verses that that more than just Umar.
so you mean to tell me that there's more than 3 times that Omar brought things like similar to the Quran? The challenge was met.
No, there's no verse that's outside of the Quran. There's no. What I'm saying is there's no text that is like the Quran. That's not the Quran. Nobody basically has ever accepted the challenge.
It says bring something like it. Umar did that more than once, more than 3 times, according to what you're telling me. Umar brought, at least from this hadith that we're looking at, and then if we add what you brought up, chapter 8, there's 4 times that Umar brought something similar to the Quran. He brought something like it. So good that it was already verses of the Quran.
Okay, here's a verse I think you should think about. Chapter
Okay.
30, verse 30 in the Quran.
Chapter 30, verse 30. What does it say?
Yeah, go ahead to go to it.
Go to it. Okay. I'll go to it. Chapter 30, verse 30.
Yeah.
Chapter 30, verse 30. Whoops, that's 31. 30, verse 30. All right. So direct your face toward the religion, inclining to truth. The fitra of Allah upon which he has created people. No change should there be in the creation of Allah. That is the correct religion, but most of the people do not know. How does this help us?
How does this help us? So, fitra, I think you should translate this word into English. It means instincts.
Okay.
Allah created us with instincts.
Mm-hmm.
And so Allah, since He's God, He knows us more than we know ourselves. So Omar's instinct kicked in. They're like, oh, because Omar, because
So you mean
everyone's
Omar's
right or wrong.
Umar's
Right or
instincts?
wrong, that's subjective. So
Umar's instincts were like the Quran.
Okay, so what happened was Umar had this type of feeling, and then he came to Rasulullah, and he's like, "Oh, Rasulullah, I feel like we should make the
Right.
Kaaba, for example, the house
Yeah,
of Allah.
I
I
get
feel
you.
like it. It doesn't mean
Yeah,
that he doesn't mean that he put it in the Quran. It's just
I
it's
get
just a
you. And
feeling.
I got you. So Omar's feelings and his instinct was like the Quran, right?
It was in a line with what Allah. Um. So
It was in line with what
let
Allah
me
had
try to explain
already.
it. Let me try to explain. It's kind of hard to explain. I'm trying to figure it out how to say it.
It's not hard to explain, brother. It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. Allah's instincts and what he thought was similar to what Allah already had in the Quran, right?
Yes, and that's how people are guided to Islam.
No worries. But notice this means that Umar met the challenge. There were 3 times that he brought something
He
that
did
was
not meet
like
the
the Quran.
challenge. It's just Allah revealing verses. Allah revealed the verses to the Prophet. He
The
didn't just
challenge
make them
is
up on the spot.
the challenge is to bring something like the Quran, right?
Yeah, and guess what he brought? The Quran. So it's
No.
nothing
Wait.
like the Quran. It
So wait,
is
hold
the
on a
Quran.
second. So if Umar brought the Quran, how is he bringing the Quran if he's not a prophet?
He did not bring the Quran. That's what I'm
That's
saying.
what
He
you
did
just
not.
said. You just said he brought the Quran.
No, I'm talking about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, not Umar. I'm talking about
All right, I'm
Muhammad.
talking about Umar, dude. I'm talking about
Oh,
Umar.
okay, talk about
Umar.
Umar.
Yes.
Okay, Umar.
So Umar, the things that he said
He
was
brought it
like
to the
what?
Prophet.
Huh?
He brought it to the Prophet. Like he got it to the
I
Prophet's attention.
understand, but
Yeah.
focus with me.
Mhm.
What Umar said was like or similar to what Allah had in the Quran, correct?
Yes. And
So
yes,
then,
like I said, it comes from his instinct. Yes.
exactly. So that means that Umar multiple times brought something like the Quran and therefore
So
met the challenge.
no, he didn't meet the challenge. I'll explain why. In the
Jabba,
verses,
come on, man.
listen. In the Quran, the challenge is bring a chapter like the Quran. So he didn't
Or
even bring a chapter like it.
no,
He
no,
just
no, no,
brought
no.
verses like it.
Hold on. Remember the verse you read in chapter 17? It says, bring
Mhm.
something like the Quran, not just the chapter. It says, bring something like it. So if I bring a verse, that's a verse, a chapter, anything. Bring something like it. So
Anything.
yeah, anything. So so Umar brought 3 things like the Quran, 3 verses
All right.
like the Quran.
Okay, address the second challenge. Remember I said both challenges?
Wait. You said it. Wait, if one challenge is met, then the Quran's false.
Both have to be met, man.
What?
Both.
So wait,
Yes.
so somebody can meet the first challenge, but the Quran can still be true?
Because the first challenge is subjective, so anybody
You
could.
know what? You're a very this is why I like you and I keep bringing you on, man, because this is what you just said is what we continue to tell the Muslims when they bring this up to us all the time. This is subjective, right?
It is.
It's subjective. You're gonna
This
say, well,
first
it's not
verse.
like it. I'm gonna say, yeah, it is like it. Who decides? It's subjective. It's a silly challenge because you can't. It's not. You can't do this and prove something's from God. That makes no sense because it's subjective.
Okay. Yeah, this one is subjective. I agree. This first challenge is subjective.
So then that means that Allah is presenting a challenge that makes no sense. He's presenting a subjective challenge and saying this proves that this is from God. That is false. Something subjective can't prove if something is from God or not. So Allah's committing a fallacy here.
That's true. That's true. What's the fallacy called, by the way?
I don't know.
Anyway, let's address the second challenge. This one is objective, by the way. The second challenge is objective.
Okay. So just
Find
to be
a
clear,
contradiction in the Quran.
all right. So just to be clear, one part of the challenge can be met and the Quran still be true.
Yes, because like I said, it's subjective. Because
But
you could say it was met. I could say it wasn't. So it's subjective.
but you agree with it. But if we're honest, you agree with me that Umar brought something like the Quran, right?
He brought an idea that the Quran agreed with. So
is that a yes?
okay, I'll grant it to you. Yeah, yes.
So you and I both agree Umar met the challenge. Allah says no one can meet the challenge. So therefore, the Quran is false. Somebody met the challenge.
Again. What you think of him meeting the challenge? Somebody else won't think. Oh, he met the challenge. It's subjective. So
You agreed
I
with me.
I
We
I could
agreed.
I could agree with you, but somebody else wouldn't. So like,
So what? So at least for us right now, the
okay,
challenge has been met and the Quran's false.
I guess.
All right.
Let's
Leave Islam, bro.
No. Bring okay. You'll defeat the second challenge.
I will, but you told me. You told me that if we do this, I show you that the Quran's false. You got to leave Islam. You said it very
both
boldly.
challenges. Both challenges.
Now
yes.
it's both challenges.
Bismillah.
All right, no worries. Now, if I show you a contradiction, now I'm trusting that you'll be honest because you were honest with the first one.
Mhm.
So, and you've every time we've spoken, you've been honest. So I'm trusting you'll be honest with this too.
Go
right?
ahead. I'm listening.
So if I show you a contradiction now, that means that the second challenge was met, and therefore Quran is false. And
Now,
you'll leave
before you show me, I
Mhm.
just need to point out a verse to you. Chapter
Okay.
2, verse 106.
All right, about abrogation.
Yes, I need you to take that into account. Yeah.
Yes, the verses that I'm going to be telling you about is not about abrogation. I assure you, it's not about whether Allah had a law in the past and then later on revealed a different law, and that's no, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm going to show you a genuine contradiction. Okay,
I'm listening.
Okay. All right. Let's do this now. Now we're up for the second challenge. Second challenge coming up. So, you believe that the Quran interprets itself, right? Like you can use other verses in the Quran to back up another verse?
You can use other verses to back up another verse, and you can use a hadith, both.
Awesome. Okay. I agree. So I'm going to show you that I'm going to be fair to the Quran. I'm going to show you three. I'm going to show you three verses that say the same thing, that communicate the same thought. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the first one I'm going to show you is chapter 6, verse 114. These are going to say the same thing.
Chapter 6, 114.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you guys always quote chapter 6, verse 115.
We do. But for this, I'm going to show you the contradiction. All right.
Okay.
So this says, then is it other than Allah that I should seek as judge, while it is He who has revealed to you the book explained in detail? And those to whom we gave the scripture know that it is sent down from your Lord in truth. So never be among the doubters. So the part that we're going to focus on is how the Quran says that the Quran is a book explained in detail. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So we're clear so far that this verse says
We're
that
clear.
the Quran. All right, good. So the Quran is a book explained in detail. Let me show you two more. All right. Let's do 11 and verse 1. 11 verse 1. There's quite a few verses that say this, All right, so here we go. Alif Lam Ra. This is a book whose verses are perfected and then presented in detail from the one who is wise and acquainted. So here's another word, right?
Yeah.
We see it. All right. Here's the last one I'm gonna show you. Now this one I really like. Chapter 12, verse
111. I already know.
You already know.
I already know what you're gonna try to bring up, and I have
All
a
right,
verse 2 to counteract it. I have a verse 2. Chapter 3, verse 7.
All right, you're saying that chapter 3, verse 7 counteracts what I'm saying? These verses?
Anyway, make your argument first. I'll bring it up after you make your argument.
All right, fair enough. All right. There was certainly in these stories a lesson for those of understanding. Never was the Quran a narration invented, but a confirmation of what was before it and a detailed explanation of all things.
Related to religion, yes.
Nope. Does it say related to religion or does it say all things?
So, okay, so I'm an Arab, so I would know the Arabic grammar of this.
Awesome. Let's go to the Arabic.
The grammar here, kulli shay, doesn't mean everything.
That's literally
the Quran doesn't teach me like how to live how to live in the United States of America, for example. It
Does the
doesn't
Quran
teach you
does the Quran mention the
everything.
does the Quran mention the United States of America?
No, that's
All
why
right.
I'm saying it's not. It doesn't mean everything.
I right. It only means everything that the Quran talks about, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So whatever the Quran talks about, it gives a detailed explanation of all those things that it itself
Yes.
talks about. Okay.
Yeah.
Right? All right, good. And it's a guidance and a mercy for people who believe. So it's a detailed explanation of all things. So we saw 3 verses that say the same thing. Now, actually, the verse that you're saying that counteracts my
Chapter 3,
point,
verse 7.
chapter 3, verse 7, is actually the verse that I'm using to show that it's a contradiction to these verses. Chapter 3, verse 7 contradicts this. You know that, right? Because 3, verse 7 says that there are some verses that are clear and some verses that are not clear, right?
For me, I would translate that different. For me, I translate muhkam and mutashabihat a little differently because it's grammar. So there's many ways you could translate a word.
So
For
okay.
me, the word muhkam means so فيهن okay هو الذي أنزل عليك الكتاب منه آيات محكمات. So there are verses that are, for me, I translate it as like verses that basically talk about like the Islamic law, like
I'm not
how
asking you to interpret it. I'm just asking you, what does it say? Because we're not talking about interpretation. We're talking about the statements themselves. Okay, that's what we're comparing. So according to this, it says that there are some verses that are clear, that are precise, and these are the foundation of the book, right? And there are other verses that are unspecific. They're not.
I'll tell you what the unspecific verses are. Do you want me to tell you?
You don't have to tell me. You don't have to.
Okay.
We understand that according to this verse, there are some verses that are clear, and there are some verses that are not clear, right? They're not explained, right?
That's right.
Okay. So this is where the contradiction is. You
No.
can't have.
I know you can't have X and the opposite of X at the same time.
Exactly.
No.
So you can't have the Quran saying that it is a detailed explanation of everything the Quran talks about, and at the same time saying that there are some verses that aren't explained. That's a contradiction.
Would you mind if I explain it? Would you
Go ahead,
mind if I explain it? Okay. So when it says in chapter 3, verse 7, there are verses that are unclear. It means in the beginning of some chapters, it says alif lam mim or ta sin mim. So there's some chapters that begin with just letters. Those are the verses that Allah is talking about that are unclear. Just those.
Thank you for that. Now, so that means that there are verses in the Quran that are not detailed and explained, correct?
It's kind of like we don't know what they mean at face value, but we can always make assumptions. So there's always assumptions.
That means that these verses are not detailed and explained, right?
Hang on. Yes.
Awesome.
But
literally.
But
what?
Again, remember I told you the Arabic language for what muhkam means? I'll tell you what muhkam means. Because in chapter 3, verse 7, it says muhkamat. I interpret muhkamat and mutashabihat a little differently. Again, I interpret muhkamat as verses that talk about Islamic law, and mutashabihat that are verses, like more than one verse talking about the same thing.
Yeah, that's fine. However you interpret it, that doesn't mean anything to me.
How?
The problem is, I'll tell you how. The problem is simply what the verse says. The verse says.
But you're reading it from the English, so I have to teach.
This is what it says. This you help me out. Does chapter 3 verse 7 mention that there are some verses that are clear and those are foundational to the Quran, and then there are verses that are unclear? Does the Quran say that?
According to most translation, yes, but that's not the. I don't think that's the true way how you should.
All right. So what are the others that are how it says these are unspecific? What is it? What else is it? What else can it be?
No, it's not about how it's translated. It's sorry, it's about how it's translated into the English.
Okay, so
Because
what is this? What is it? What is it then?
so what
If
does
it's not
muhkamat and
unspecific, what is it?
mutashabihat mean? Is that
Yeah,
what you're
what is it?
asking?
Yeah, what does it mean?
Okay, I'll explain. Okay, muhkamat, it means verses that talk about Islamic law, and those are the
No, no,
foundation of the
no.
book.
So when I'm asking you to translate it for me, not interpret it. Because right now
Yes,
you're giving me an
translate.
interpretation.
No, no, no.
Translate.
I'm translating. Muhkamat, again, hukum. It comes from the word hukum. It, it means again, they talk about law. Law.
No, does the word mean law?
I believe so.
It doesn't. The word does not mean law, bro. Look, Let's even go to the corpus itself.
The Arabic. Yeah, let's go to the Arabic.
Go to the Arabic. Yada yada yada. Let's see. And verses absolutely clear. They're the foundation of the book, and others mutashabihat,
Yeah, الوان
allegorical,
متشابهات.
allegorical or unspecific. So it doesn't mean
I
law.
interpret متشابهات. I interpret متشابهات as verses, basically more than one verse talking about the same thing. For
So
example,
you're saying similar verses. So
exactly,
there
exactly.
are verses that are clear and there are verses that are similar. Is that what you're saying?
Perfect. You
Okay.
got it.
All right. So let's go with that because that I think that is a valid translation because there are translations that say that. Now
Yes.
let's read the context to see what it says about this. Okay.
All right.
So it says. So let's take it as if matter of fact, I think that there's a translation that actually says what you're saying. Hold on, let me see if I can get it up. I want to be as fair and clear, and I want to use your strongest argument to show you that it still is a contradiction. Okay, and verses that are this one doesn't translate it. Let's see. Does Yusuf Ali use it? I'm gonna just try one. Let's try Aubrey. This is the book. Nobody says ambiguous. Man, all these translations say the same thing.
Yeah.
But if not, I'll still go with you. Okay, I'll still go
Okay.
with you. I'll
Okay.
still
Okay.
work with you. Let's see, Pictol. Allegorical. Okay. Well, anyway, let's go with still similar. I'll still go with you because I'm not finding one, but I think I remember seeing one that says what you're saying. All right. So they're similar. Let's read it like that. Okay. So in it are verses that are precise. They are the foundation of the book, and others similar.
Mm-hmm.
Now watch this. As for those in whose hearts is deviation, they will follow that of which is similar, seeking discord and seeking an interpretation. And no one knows its true interpretation except Allah. But those firm in knowledge say, we believe in it. All of it is from our Lord. And no one will be reminded except those of understanding.
It's funny because this verse reminds me of our conversation literally right now. How, like, you're trying to find like verses that are kind of confusing, and I'm saying I believe in all of it.
I think it's the other way around. I think that I'm bringing verses that are clear and foundational.
Yeah,
And you're
bringing the
you're
verse that talks
deviating.
about you're bringing the verse that talks about yourself.
Okay, no worries.
All
All right, all right. So I'm the one with the dark heart. No worries. But okay, so according to the verse, regarding these similar verses, are they explained in the Quran, or does only Allah know the explanation? Does only Allah know the interpretation?
Let me think for a minute, just a second.
All you gotta do is read. What you gotta think about? Just read.
No, because I know what you're gonna bring after.
I don't need to bring anything after it, dude. I'm not surprising you at all. It's on the screen.
I know. I would say for me personally, only Allah knows the true meaning, but we can always speculate.
Oh, exactly. You can always speculate, but only Allah knows the meaning of those similar verses. Meaning that those verses are not explained, right?
Again, we can only make assumptions. So in the term, like we can only guess what they really mean.
Exactly. Meaning, the reason why you can only guess is because Allah didn't explain the meaning to you.
For example, right? Like I said, Yeah, like all these
Okay,
like letters, you know. Yeah,
that's fine. So, therefore, these verses are not explained, right?
specifically those. Yes,
Okay,
specifically.
got it. So, here's the contradiction.
Hmm.
One verse over here says, well, we have three verses that say that the Quran and its verses are a detailed explanation of everything. While this verse says, well, actually, there are some verses that are not explained. You can't have both. That's a contradiction. Either the Quran explains everything in the Quran or it doesn't.
Okay. Remember you said earlier that the Quran does not explain how to live in the United States of America?
That's because the Quran doesn't mention that.
Yes, the Quran does not mention that. So it means it cannot be. So when it says like it's an explanation of everything, again,
Mhm.
everything that it talks about. So
Uh-huh.
it specifically talks. So these letters, like in the
It,
beginning
it,
of
it,
different chapters of the Quran.
it mentions those letters, doesn't it?
No, in chapter 12, verse 111, for example, it does not mention. It just mentions verses that
No,
talk
I'm not
about.
talking about that. I'm saying in the
Oh.
Quran, these letters are mentioned, correct? Alif
At the
Lam
beginning
Ra,
of the
Alif Lam
chapters.
Mim.
Yeah, you get what I mean, right?
Yeah. So these are actual verses that contain these things, and that's it. And they're not explained. You don't know what that means because the Quran doesn't explain those, right?
Yeah. It's even
Meaning,
funny because I heard different interpretations of it. Like
yeah, me
it
too.
sounds pretty funny. These people, like they say Alif Lam Mim Allah lahul mulk. No, 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 no.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty joke. It's a pretty big joke. Yeah.
So we're still with the problem that now I want you to understand.
Mhm.
I agree with you. What the Quran talks about, what's mentioned in the Quran says that it is a detailed explanation of everything within the Quran, not outside of it, within the Quran. So if there's something that the Quran is not detailed and explained about in the Quran, then that's a contradiction.
By any chance, are there any other Muslims waiting backstage?
Yeah. Why?
Maybe ask one for help. Help. Maybe
Nah, brother. Is this a contradiction?
at the surface it is, but I have to do more research.
Bro, that's twice. I fulfilled both challenges.
The first one, okay, the first one is subjective. Okay, you have to
But
give me
you
that one.
agreed with me.
I agree with you, subjective.
No. You agreed with me that according to our subjective opinion, that Umar met the challenge. That's what you agreed with me. And now you're agreeing
Sort
that
of met the challenge. Sort of met
okay.
the challenge.
And then you're agreeing with me that at least from what we're looking at, this is a contradiction. So I met two of the challenges. So now you gotta apostatize.
You know what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do?
What?
Remember I told you I live in SoCal?
Yeah.
I'm going to Balboa Park this weekend, inshallah. I'll talk to maybe, Sheikh Uthman about this.
Okay. You'll be there Sunday?
Yeah? I hope you come. Balboa Park.
Let me see. You'll be there Sunday.
Bi'idhnillah.
Nah, see, don't say that, man. It's if you promise that you'll be there Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
I may show up. But I can't go off of
I know.
because that's a
But again,
5-hour drive for me. But I'll go for you.
it all depends, like because it all depends on my family,
I know.
Yeah. So so far they said yes, but then you never know what's gonna happen. But
Mhm.
as for now, yes, but it could change. I can't be 100% certain. I have a pretty busy family, but
No
as
worries.
for now,
Okay. So at least where we're at so far, we have shown that the two challenges of the Quran to know that it's false have been met. We found a contradiction and somebody brought something like it. So therefore, like you said you would apostate. You would apostate. You would leave Islam today. You ready to do that?
again, I for the second challenge, I can't say it's been met. I have to do more research. For
You
the second challenge,
agreed. You agreed that so far it looks like a contradiction.
see, what's different between me and you and I don't have blind faith. So I I don't just
Yeah.
leave for no reason. I need to do research.
I didn't. You're not leaving for any reason. I've given you proof that the Quran is false. I'm not just claiming it. I've walked with you, showed you that the Quran is false. Now leave it like you said you
Honestly, let another Muslim come up. Let's see what they have to say.
would. Okay.
Come on, do it.